But no, I think maybe it's worth noting that when you say complex environments, we could just as easily substitute in random environments, like basically the random risk, the like things that are just outside of that are beyond our easy comprehension, like things that it's just hard to understand well.
I
You
think
know,
that's a good model. So how I break this up, I don't know whether you'll find this interesting or not, but like how I break this up mentally is like single pitch sport climbing. I don't know anybody that's died. And then multi-pitch sport climbing, now the consequence of something going wrong is higher and the environment's getting a little bit more complicated. And I know people who've died, multi-pitch sport climbing. And then your single pitch trad climbing, not many people die, they get messed up, but more occasionally. And you start stacking these things. Now we're going multi-pitch trad climbing. Now we're going multi-pitch alpine climbing. And the environment gets more complicated. The skills necessary to survive in that environment get more complicated until you're up onto higher altitude or super technical speed alpine climbing or wherever, where a lot of people don't make it. This is like pretty trackable to me. And in each of these environments, the things that are out of your control, you could call them random, but I think they're kind of expected outcomes. They grow. So if you're on a big face, there's so many possibilities for like the sun hits something that the permafrost is melted out and it falls on you. And it's an infinitely large piece of terrain above your head. That's expected. It looks random. Oh, a rock fall, random. But it's like if you stood at the base of the face for days, which I have, any one part of that face is going to have rockfall. There's going to be wet holes. There just will be things that happen up there. And so those things aren't random. They're an expected outcome of going into complex environments. People are like, that's a freak accident. No, if you spent 100 years in that face, you'd have 500 freak accidents, So the complexity matters and the consequence matters to me. And then you start making determinations about probability, and then you get ultra intellectual, and it falls, it starts to fall apart to some extent.
yeah,
But it's
because at a certain point you can't really intellectualize it too much because they are, I mean, yeah, maybe they're not random in that they are somewhat predictable, but they are chaotic events. I mean, it's hard to quantify. It's hard to, it'd be hard to put numbers on it. You just know that random things or, that things will happen all the time.
yeah,
But like, how do you intellectualize that? You're just kind of like, like, I mean, it's like expecting the unexpected. You're like, okay,
yeah,
I'm ready for the unexpected, but I don't know what it is. Like
yeah.
anything could happen.
Well, I think that's a really helpful attitude to have, is that you expect the unexpected. You expect both errors and unforeseen things to happen. And if that's kind of your, it's like those old Pink Panther skits where Kato would jump out behind the curtain and attack the Pig Panther or whatever to keep him on his toes. And if that's your mindset going into these environments, like at any moment, something's going to go sideways, then it's in some ways helpful to a point. When I walk into the mountains, I'm not like, oh, I've been doing this for 40 years. I got this on lockdown. I'm like, what's different? What am I not seeing? What's wrong? Why is there rockfall in that gully? I want to guide over there, but why is there that remnant cornice? Could that blow? I'm seeing everything hopefully that can go wrong, and I call that like the positive power of negative thinking. It's a willingness to look at things as lethal and complicated, and my job is to figure out what they are before they kill me. That's my job in the mountains. The universe is not like a happy, warm, fuzzy place where you think about you getting a new car and the universe like gives you one. This is bullshit. What is real is that the universe is out to fucking kill you, and it's your job to survive. It's combat, and if you have that attitude, then you can succeed more and get things done. At a certain point, it becomes debilitating, and I've had it skew so far where I'm like, I'm not doing anything but. I'm not even going bouldering. I've been to that point where it's taken over. But you've got to have your model, and that's mine.
Tell me more about the power of negative thinking.
Well, there's always this positive power of positive thinking. Think happy thoughts, and the universe will give you like cars and dates and things like this. And this drives me batshit because it is so preposterous and so full of shit. Like how you get difficult, complicated, high risk things done is figure out everything that can go wrong and think about those consequences and probabilities and dig through it and listen to your fear. Like, why am I afraid today? Like, well, what have I missed? And you chew on all of that. people be like, well, it's thinking really negatively. You're not just thinking about how you're going to succeed and how great it is. No, fuck no. I'm thinking about like how I'm going to get through and survive. And so that's the positive power of negative thinking. And it's a really valuable tool. And I try to teach it and share it with my kids. And we've got these little risk management games we play that, maybe you'll be playing with your daughter one day too, because she's probably going to be like you, man, and you're going to have to figure it out.